Alright, the second part of the lesson today is dealing with double angle formula. And so double angle formula, like sum and difference, is used to figure out angles that you don't readily know. So first thing you got to understand is that sine of 2x is equal to 2 sine x cosine x, and that cosine 2x equals cosine squared x minus sine squared x. And we can go and, whoops, whoa, that's not nice. We want to ignore that cursor right there. And from here, you can derive using the fundamental Pythagorean trig identity of cosine squared x plus sine squared x equals 1 to derive the other two. So I'll go and just do this for you real quick. If I say cosine squared x minus sine squared x, and I go ahead and just convert sine squared x into 1 minus cosine squared x, then what I get is cosine squared x, if I distribute the negative, minus 1 plus cosine squared x. So I end up with 2 cosine squared x minus 1, which is exactly what this thing is. Right? And then obviously to get the 1 minus 2 sine x, you just convert the other one. So double angle, like I said, is used to figure out angles that you don't readily know. So let me go and just pause real quick. I'm going to type up a problem, and then I'll be back in a flash. Alright, problem 1 reads, suppose x is between 90 and 180. What they mean by that is 90 degrees and 180 degrees. And sine of x is equal to 1/2. Find the exact value of each expression. Now when they say each expression, they mean sine of 2x and cosine of 2x. Alright, so let's see how this works. Let's write down what we know first of all. If x is between 90 and 180, let me go and switch over to catch up here. If x is between 90 and 180, that places me in quadrant 2. And if sine of x equals 1/2, I can use some reasoning. If sine of x equals 1/2, that means that cosine of x has to equal rad 3 over 2. But the problem is that I'm in quadrant 2. So cosine of x can't be positive rad 3 over 2. Cosine has to be negative because cosine is always negative in quadrant 2. Alright, so hopefully you're able to follow that so far. Let's find the value of sine 2x first. Well, remember, sine 2x is going to be 2 sine x cosine x. Well, they tell you that sine of x equals 1/2, so that's 2 times 1/2. And then cosine of x is negative rad 3 over 2, so just plug in negative rad 3 over 2. Well, the 2's are going to cancel each other out, so what you end up with is 1 times negative rad 3 over 2, which is negative rad 3 over 2. Let's do cosine. Cosine of 2x. Now we have a bunch of different options. Choose one that's going to make things easier. I'm going to go ahead and choose cosine squared minus sine squared. Well, cosine of x is negative rad 3 over 2, and that whole thing is being squared, minus sine squared x, that is 1/2 being squared. So this is going to be 3 over 4 minus 1 over 4. That leaves me with 2 over 4, which is 1/2. Alright, let's do another one. Hang on, let me come up with it. Alright, this next problem here is asking us for something a little similar, but there's a couple of changes. They're saying that x is between 0 and 90, so that places us in quadrant 1. And sine of x is equal to 1/3. Well, 1/3 is not on the unit circle, which means that we need to not be like Tim Westwood and draw a right triangle. So let's go ahead and draw our good old quadrant 1 triangle right there. I'll call this x. The ratio of sides for sine is opposite over hypotenuse, so that is going to be opposite going to be 1, hypotenuse going to be 3. So let's figure out this other side because we have to use cosine double angle here. So that's going to be 1 squared plus, let's just call this b squared equals 3 squared. So I've got 1 plus b squared equals 9, b squared equals 8, b equals 2 rad 2. Alright, so let's go ahead and figure out our sine double angle. I'll go and switch back to mustard here. So sine 2x, well, let's figure out cosine first, sorry. Cosine of x is going to be 2 rad 2 over 3, right? Because cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. I'll go ahead and rewrite sine just to keep them together. Sine is equal to 1/3. Okay, well sine 2x is equal to 2 sine x cosine x. Well, we can go ahead and figure that out. That is 2. Sine of x was 1/3. Cosine of x is 2 rad 2 over 3. So this one here we have to do a little bit of math. Nothing's going to cancel out, so our denominator is going to be 9. 2 times 1 times 2 is 4 rad 2 over 9. Let's do cosine. That is cosine squared x minus sine squared x. I just choose to use this one. No big deal. You can actually, you know what? No, let's not do that. Let's do a different one. Let's do 2 cosine squared x minus 1. Variety being the spice of life. So that's going to be 2 times, well, cosine squared, that's 2 rad 2 over 3 squared minus 1. Okay, I think I'm going to regret doing this, but that's all right. 2 rad 2 squared, so that's going to be 4 times 2, so that's 8 over 9 times 2 minus 1. That is going to be 16 over 9 minus 9 over 9, so that is 7 over 9. Okay. And again, you could have used any one of these if you wanted to, but you know, I chose to use that one. All right, that's it for double angle. See you next time.